The Dad.
Rock and roll!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Feel, don't think.
Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love. Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, your worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
We found Princess Leia, Luke, and R2. You guys look great.
You hear that, buddy?
Especially you, R2. Don't worry.
Oh, you noticed the new button right there.
Oh, you did. Bye.
I told you it'd be a good idea.
May the Force be with you.
So, yes, the preceding video was at Hollywood Studios in Disneyland this last Friday, and it looks like things to start backing away from the sequel trilogy are happening. I got a heads up from several people, including a good subscriber of mine, that Rise of the Resistance is now down indefinitely for, quote, maintenance. Okay, the whole park, but for Rise of the Resistance, is going to the original trilogy, the original movie. Interesting. And now Rise of the Resistance is down indefinitely. Why? For maintenance? We've been told that Luke Skywalker is going to be at Galaxy's Edge, and we got a preview in that video, him and Leia. And my only complaint is that the girl playing Leia isn't pretty enough. I'm very much stickler to being consistent about this, but we'll see where they go. We'll see if they change things up a little bit. But we're told now Luke will be at Galaxy's Edge, which will be very interesting. It'll be great. He was there last year during Seasons of the Force, and I think it was quite a success. And so there's a change right there. But there's more coming to Galaxy's Edge. More characters. Han Solo is going to be at Galaxy's Edge. And of course, Chewbacca, who's been there already. Hanging around the Millennium Falcon, going to Uga's Cantina, looking for business. And maybe they'll do like a show, where he runs into Greedo or somebody like that. That'll be kind of cool. But this is what they should have done to begin with. And I honestly think that's why they're doing this. That's why they're changing the park. And I think that Josh D'Amaro is the one behind this, because he's likely to succeed Bob Iger. And how do you get people to come to Galaxy's Edge? You get them nostalgic. Families, dads and moms want to introduce their kids to Han, Chewie, Luke, and Leia, right? But it's not just going to be Han and Luke that are going to be there, and Chewbacca. It's going to be Leia. She's going to be there. And I think she'll be hanging around with Han. I'm not sure. That makes sense considering the story and real canon. So the girls who, according to Kathleen Kennedy, don't identify with Han and Luke will have the person they do identify with. And it'll be Princess Leia. Every time I think about that quote that Kennedy had, it so denigrated Leia. And so denigrate. I mean, it was just such a misandrous thing to say, and also a misogynist thing to say if you think about it. Is she aware of herself? No, she's not. I've already said that she has no self-awareness. But here's the deal. There's one character missing that defines Star Wars because the story really is about him. Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. When you look at that mask, you know you're on the way to see a Star Wars movie. That's what's happening. And he is going to be at Galaxy's Edge with a cadre of 501st Stormtroopers chasing Han, Luke, and Leia around and causing trouble and mischief and, being the tyrannical Sith Lord that he is. Now, I am going to add that we're not going to see any prequel trilogy yet, but don't be surprised in the coming next couple of years we see Anakin Skywalker running around and we see a young Obi-Wan Kenobi, maybe Qui-Gon Jinn. The park is going to be opened up to actual Star Wars and the stories that George wrote, the actual stories. Because what made Star Wars isn't the visuals, it's the story, it's the characters. And it's, thank God, that the cast, which for both the first trilogy and the prequels was outstanding. But here's the story from Yahoo. They say it's down indefinitely for maintenance. Now, I don't know if anybody has gone to Disney Plus. They do have the ride on a video. So I watched it, or watched part of it, and it was so boring that I had to turn it off. Nothing happens in it. And the fact that there are people out there saying they liked it, they think it's fun, it's like, did you have the same experience that everybody else did? It was basically a pointless moment at Galaxy's Edge. But anyway, let's talk more.
Do it for me, milady, please. The thought of keeping you is unbearable.
I've been basking in it for the last 30 minutes. My God. I feel like a seafront village after the Vikings have left.
I think there was an assumption being made for quite a while that girls didn't care about Star Wars, or that girls weren't identifying with characters like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. They were only identifying with Princess Leia.
Argle, gargle, google, goo. What? Now you know how it feels. What are you talking about?
So I went on Disney Plus and I watched a little bit of the video that shows Rise of the Resistance. It's basically, they show you what the ride is about and what it's like. And it's the most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And I'm not just saying that. The only time you see Kyle Ron is he's an animatronic character and he's saying something stupid to you. It's pointless. It's just like, why are we watching this? And I'm going to say that it would be very easy to skin and put Vader there. And I mean, like literally put a character, a human, in a Vader outfit and say, there you go. And people would want to see it. It's really just a bad look. It's, like I said, it's anticlimactic. Nothing happens. And I know I'm going to piss the Raylos off, but Kyle Ron really is a weak-ass villain. He's basically the example of the protesters in Minneapolis. It's like he's an overgrown child with daddy issues. And, there's nothing cool about that. There's nothing to be empathetic towards. It's not, his story isn't anything like Anakin's story because he was a child of privilege, which kind of, that's Antifa, right? That's those leftist protesters in Minneapolis. And, there you go. It really is that simple. Then we have, in the beginning, the hologram of Rey. The only time you see her, and it's stupid, and again, it's pointless, and you're kind of left with like, wow, really? That's all? And they really don't give you anything for this. And, people are saying what a great ride it is, but even watching it on a video, in my opinion, just shows how lame it is and how utterly pointless the sequel trilogy is and how utterly pointless Rey is, right? I think Rise of the Resistance is the ultimate example of Kennedy's hubris, except for the hotel, which is gone now. It is an office for Imagineers. So what happens? I mean, what's going on here? We've got Han, Luke, Leia, Vader, and a bunch of stormtroopers showing up in Galaxy's Edge this year, which is awesome because it's the original trilogy. That is what's going to get people to go to see this. And we were told that the sequels would only be part of Rise of the Resistance, and now that's down for, quote, maintenance? I don't know I really don't know how to feel about that because being down indefinitely for maintenance doesn't make any sense to me. All right, I'm a person who kind of looks at things and goes, there's more to the story. And again, this is my opinion. You could easily reskin Rise of the Resistance to be the Battle for Endor. And it would work. Make it more exciting, or maybe refurbish it completely and have it the X-Wing trench run where you end up blowing up the Death Star, the first one. Something like that. But the clue here, again, is it's down indefinitely for maintenance. Now, it probably won't change. I don't remember Sparrow saying anything about this being different or it being changed. Yet, this is, kind of, really? You have to say that because, I would not doubt that it's changed to something for the OG. But again, could you have room for the prequels? Or expand the park to add prequel stuff to it. And where it's all integrated, so you're walking down the street, you'll see Anakin. Turn the corner, there's Han and Leia. Turn the corner again, there's Padme. And the reason why I think they're changing everything back to what they wanted to do to begin with is because, again, the sequel trilogy lost money, a lot of money. We were told after everything that it's upwards of $14 billion under Kennedy. And the fact that they hadn't, and again, it's starting to make sense why they didn't talk about it, why they didn't publicly say she was gone. Because maybe they were afraid people would find out how much money they lost. So is Rise of the Resistance just down for maintenance? We'll see. I just find all of that wording to be very sus. And in my opinion, I think you guys should keep your eyes open and maybe Sparrow, they'll hear something and tell Cameron, I don't know. But the parks were the first thing to show Luke and Leia and that was at Hollywood Studios. And we know for a fact that they're coming to Galaxy's Edge. This is what people wanted in the beginning, to begin with. Okay, so more of Kennedy's failure is being erased. And perhaps Rise of the Resistance will be called Rise of the Rebellion. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.
Ready, everybody?
All set.
Here we go again.